guys, in this video, we're gonna be talking about how easy it is to bring your website up to ADA compliance and actually what that means.
So in the last 90 days, I've been on this journey with a lot of my clients asking me what's up with accessibility, why is there so much information in the news, so many lawsuits going on, and so I had to go on a search to help fill that solution, that void, not only for my own website, for my clients, and it led me to one of the top people in the world on this topic, and also one of the top solutions.
We're excited to dive in. My name's Wendy Jae.
My name's David Tucker.
And we're the founders of Travelers Book Direct, and we are excited to introduce to you one of the #1 solutions out there. Again, an easy way for you to bring your website and digital space up to ADA compliance. His name is Ellie, and he is from Accessibility. Ellie,
take it away.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Really an awesome pleasure. So my name is Ellie Friedman, and I am the team leader here at Accessibility. We're an AI web accessibility solution, and I'd like to humbly say that we're #1 in the world. I'm just glad to be here. And yeah, let's talk a little bit more about ADA and web accessibility.
Hey, as far as I'm concerned, you're #1 in the world. I installed it on the website myself, and it was just such an easy process. But, you know, I mean, what is this going to make happen for our business, Wendy?
well, I just want to say, I know there's a lot of fear wrapped around this conversation because people don't know what to do. I know you all watching this video don't know what to do. If you're watching this video, you're definitely considering what I need to do, right? Thinking about what are the solutions, what's the hardcore, because we all know if we go into deep dive developer work and hiring your team to actually make all the changes, it's going to be a long drawn out process. And it's probably not going to be updated as quickly as your website is a breathing, living machine out there, and there's constant changes as in legislation, as in your website, as in accessibility rules and regulations.
And so, Eli, what have you seen in the last year going on in this space?
Specifically, when it comes to litigation in the space, if that's what we're talking about, I think that we've been growing up. So ADA just celebrated its 30th birthday. So that's American Disabilities Act of 1990. Yeah. And at that time, it was really the infancy of the web. So they didn't have anything in mind as far as web accessibility. The W3C actually came out, the World Wide Web Consortium came out with something called the WCAG standards. I'm sorry for all the terminology name drop, but it's really to understand, you know, where it's coming from. And those web content accessibility guidelines were created so that coders can essentially, or web development companies can embed that code or those best practices in order to be compatible with assistive technologies like screen readers, keyboard navigation only, and a number of other things that we can get into as well. Now, you know, so many years later, let's say, it seems to be that there is a moving trend towards inclusivity. This has obviously been an issue that's lasted 30 years and will continuously be if we don't start doing something about it. So in 2018, the DOJ's affirmation that websites now are considered places of public accommodation and must comply with Title III of the ADA, American Disabilities Act, once again. What that set off was every vertical in industry has basically been going off into a whirlwind, trying to figure out something that they didn't really know anything about. They've heard about it kind of just touching upon physical accommodations. So you can imagine, right, ramps for wheelchairs, elevated toilet seats for them, etc. So now our migration from the physical space into the digital space, and with the exponential growth of technology, we now need to keep up to par with this. So there's been a lot of noise, 265,000 demand letters. There's been an uptick of 20% from 2019 and 2020. And because COVID, it's huge. There's been a 300% year-over-year increase since 2017. And now, again, we still continue to see that trend going on. There's still a lot of lawsuits that are coming into the gate that were not actually, were not, I guess, in the registry because of COVID and the effects that it had on the court system, of course. So now you're going to start seeing them trickle in, plus the bottleneck of 2021. So there's a lot of changes going on right now. This is definitely the best time to get on board if you haven't already, and go through the preemptive route so gets hit with litigation in regards to accessibility.
And I know, in my journey to talk to people and find a solution, the first thing I did is I went to web developers, right? Because the guidelines were created for web development, and I can tell you, not a single one of the web developers I contacted are creating websites with that accessibility at the front of the list as to
Right.
what they need to do. And it was actually one of our top web developers that led us back to you, right? He runs a large shop, creates a lot of web-based product. And he said, we can't build it in at the rate things are changing, the rate content changes on a website, the possibility that legislation is going to change. We're using this plugin. So that's how we found you.
Yes, that's a great way to point it out. So I'll give you just kind of an easy way to contrast between the different services that are out there, really kind of lightly.
Perfect. Yeah,
S-
thank you.
Yeah, so there are three types, and let's start off with the bedrock of accessibility. That's been manual remediation. So these are coders. They know about web accessibility guidelines. They implement it into your code while they build your website. So from the get-go, or of course retroactively. Now they embed the necessary code to interact with assistive technologies and others that we'll get into. And what this means is that sifting through every single line of code on a website that has 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 pages, and with the constant changes there, you're looking at tens of thousands, if not hundreds and millions of dollars, depending on the size of the site.
Right. Yeah.
And what happens essentially is there are widget companies which picked up on accessibility. They take care of a very, very small portion of the 1,000-page guidebook that is WCAG. And what they're doing is seemingly trying to help people that don't know about accessibility to install it on their site. And again, it's not helping really anyone. And you become a target for a lawsuit. Those are free or low-cost widgets. So you're thinking about manual remediation, tens of thousands of dollars. You're looking at weeks of months of implementation and ongoing maintenance, so retainer cost. And then finally, you have Accessibility, which is, I hate to say it, the buzzword, but disruptors of our industry, and why we're in anabolic growth mode right now is because there is only so much you can do from a manual remediation standpoint. There needs to be an emergent technology that will be able to constantly keep that level of accessibility and compliance, not only from the lawsuit mitigation perspective, but the core issue here is inclusivity, okay? It's 2021, for Lord's sake. Black Lives Matter, the amount of political changes that are going on right now. No, it's funny that we're so far in the game and we've been talking about it and fighting about it for so long, but now it's time to actually put our money where our mouth is and start actually including everybody into our businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say, I'm thinking about all the different tribe that we work with, including high performance influencers. They need to have this basic, very basic tool for anybody else that wants to be able to access and continue educating themselves out there online by just having this basic foundation. It's almost like this is so late in the game, why were we not all doing this 5-10 years ago?
And so many of the people that I spoke to, especially web developers, said, hey, we're using that free WordPress plugin. And, I thought, awesome, someone has put out a plugin that will get you completely covered. But in my journey, I found that is a slippery slope, right? That free WordPress plugin doesn't even really touch the surface and protect you from a litigation standpoint. Not to mention, it's not really doing any favors for people with different levels of accessibility, right? With different challenges in their life, engage with you and create a relationship with you and your business.
Yeah, right on the nose. Another detriment of these plugins, like a WordPress plugin or whatever it is I don't want to get too much into the technical because I definitely don't want our listeners to gloss over there. But let's just say like this: there are 50 plus disabilities that are out there, okay, that are registered, and what happens is for low visual impairments, let's say, so color blindness, they can see the screen, they can engage with the screen, but they have difficulty in seeing, certain fonts, color contrast ratios, etc. So these widgets will help with the CSS adjustments to adjust the color contrast to help those people read. But what happens is when a completely blind person comes in and starts using their keyboard navigation only and a screen reader, is they start tabbing through the website to navigate through the website, and they hit a roadblock every step of the way. And see, that's, again, it's seemingly helping people that are, completely able-bodied, and because they don't know the depths of accessibility, and I'm learning every single day, by the way, it's extremely, extremely technical. But once they start understanding, it's just a matter of education and having a conversation like this, getting out valuable content so that we can start educating, the general population, and understanding, again, the importance of it. And how we can get around it being so costly and tedious, right? So yeah, I think that I'll end it there.
Yeah, Ellie, can you tell us more about the AI-driven solution of Accessibility, more on that technical side and how it's implemented?
So it's one single line of JavaScript code. And essentially what the AI does, it will scan and analyze all the elemental structural roles, forms, pop-ups, keys, button, all of those things, and assign it to the correct roles. Again, so ARIA attributes, screen reader text, so that way it can interact with assistive technologies and all automatically. So this is a user session-based tool, okay? It's a session-based tool, if you will, and it's on the user's browser side. So anytime that they interact with the solution, it's only affecting them on their browser so that they can navigate through the website, adjust specific to their disability. And anybody who else is, of course, on your website navigating through, they will not have or see any of those changes that that user is making.
And I was going to ask, is there another version they have to have for a tablet or mobile, or is it all in one?
It's all in one, so it's universally, it's universal.
Good question.
And it's also, I would like to say, just from the customization standpoint, is you have a lot of different customization options in order to coordinate to your brand and flavor and style. It's extremely easy as far as the process goes. So a little bit more about on the installation, because this is by far one of the winning, I guess, features of having Accessibility is it's, again, one line of JavaScript code. You install it once. After 48 hours and once the AI has completed its process, it's remediated the website initially. What will happen is our solution will ping your website every 24 hours to ensure if there's any changes or additions being made, those two are being remediated as you go along. I hate to sound so cheesy, but it's a set it and forget it, right? That's essentially what we deal with so that you can focus on your day-to-day and make it easy and simple and affordable. Those were the 3 points essentially when developing our solution that we needed to essentially, encompass.
And I'm primarily involved in marketing for my clients, right? And one of the things that we look at in marketing is search engine optimization, SEO. Does this plugin change any element of SEO, such as URLs or code that Google might read and disrupt that?
That's a very good question. There's a fine line here. It's a session-based tool. So what happens is on the fly, our AI is essentially injecting within your source code the alt tags for images, let's say. So the SEO, of course, from an SEO standpoint, these are extremely important. So our solution doesn't necessarily help with the SEO ranking for alt tags because it's all on the session. However, having a solution, you're going to be writing verbiage around it, having content surrounding that. So search engines are going to be picking up on the fact that you are broadcasting something that is very essential, of course, to the web and websites. Apart from that is dwell time. So if you can imagine 20% of the population, just to give you an idea, is 1 out of 5 people within the US, you're looking at 61 million Americans by CDC. You can fact check as well as anybody who would like, they can go on CDC and check these stats. They're really useful to know. And if you look at the sheer numbers there, if 1 out of 5 people that are coming to my website leave because it's inaccessible, dwell time, bounce rate increases, right? And that's definitely not favorable. So just by having that, patronizing your business, making it accessible, you're now inviting 20% of the population, which essentially wasn't there before because you were severing their access to it.
Is there any conflict between the icon on the bottom of the screen with chatbots?
Great question. So customization also, you have advanced and customized installation options, which basically means that you can change it around from left to right, top to bottom, in case you have any chats, of course, or a scroll, scroll back up button or whatever it is, so that it won't interfere with those. Absolutely.
Oh, cool.
And because it's AI driven, it updates itself based on someone adding more content, more blog content, different parts of the website. And also, there are some legislation changes in the wind that will affect ADA. How does Accessibility handle that?
We have a very aggressive R&D team. So as far as keeping up with new legislations, I mean, this is litigation-based software. So at the end of the day, we absolutely need to keep up to date. Otherwise, it's really worth nothing.
Yeah.
So we are definitely keeping our eye on the ball. with 2.2, of course, coming up as well. Also, legislation's coming into the gate. We were speaking about this earlier within hospitality, within a number of other different verticals and industries. And I would love to hear a little bit more about it, to be honest with you. But yes, we are keeping our eyes on the ball.
And so it updates seamlessly in the background when things change. You guys update the code on your end, and the code that's already been installed on the website is sort of like this one and done solution.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And see, once you install it, right? So anytime that you make a change and you press that publish button, our solution will ping it just to ensure, again, that we remediate those items. So you could just again, focus on your day.
And I can just hear my listeners saying, when you ping it in our AI solution, is there any security issues that, you know, these guys need to be aware of from your side?
Really great question. Again, one of the fundamentals when establishing or developing our solution is that it needed to be GDPR compliant, it needed to be CCPA neutral, of course, and anything that affects privacy, it does not. I mean, just one-on-one, it does not. It would be a really big issue, especially for logged in base sessions, right? Where people are coming in and we're scraping data. That's a big no-no. So we need to make it as, as jam-packed and as tightly knit as possible. And of course, maintaining that privacy.
I think one of the biggest things is we are just so pumped right now to get people to get access into Accessibility and get started, and to let you all know that this is an easy solution. You don't have to look any further. You don't have to continue, you know, going through competitors or trying this or trying that with your web team. Go to Accessibility, try these guys out. They've got it down. You will so be happy with the easy installation, knowing that you're just covered and it's done. You can move on in your life. You've got one thing done, checked off your list.
And at the end of the day, it's all about doing the right thing for the people that are out there that have enough challenges in life, right? And your website, your product, your service, it doesn't need to be another one of those challenges.
I'm gonna say level up your compassion, bring on your kindness, and really allow everybody to access what you have to offer. It's so important that we all can share, as our whole world is all one, and we wanna be able to share that services and what we have together.
So, you know, next steps?
Yeah, next step. So if you guys have any questions, DM us in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And
if you are seeing this on YouTube or on our website, there's probably a link somewhere in here that you can click, directly take you to Accessibility and get you happily involved in this product.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. And most important, let's get started. See you later. Aloha.
Aloha.